Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. First things first, if you're watching this video, go ahead and drop a like and drop a sub as well for me. So today for you guys, I'll actually be giving you guys my thoughts on William Bonac from this year's Mr. Olympia as well as last year's Mr. Olympia, whether I think he's getting better or he's getting worse. And we're actually going to look at a comparison video today. I try to leave the comparisons to the comparison channels, but I actually want to get out my thoughts about a couple of these athletes from the Mr. Olympia competition. So taking a look at the front double bicep, and of course he's hitting it a little differently, but Bonac seems to be a little thicker in the midsection. Arms look improved, honestly. He looks a little smaller in the legs, and maybe even a little downsized in the lats, even in the front double bicep, you can kind of see that. And going on to the front lat spread, keep in mind, guys, I haven't sized these perfectly, but it's still pretty good. He is looking a little downsized in the legs to me, in all honesty. Thicker midsection, as you guys can see, and his right lat, our left, in 2021 looks to be downsized a bit. Chest looks smaller too, actually. Actually looks a lot smaller in a lot of different things now that I'm taking a closer look at this. So I definitely, so far, the 2020 version is definitely winning. And going on to the side chest, now this is interesting. He looks thicker in 2021, especially in the upper body. But is he as conditioned as he was in 2020? Taking a closer look at it, he looks to be about in the same condition. He was a little sharper in 2020, I can say that. And in the wheels, honestly, they look pretty comparable in the side chest. Can't say too much about them. And onto the side tricep. I honestly like the way that he was hitting it in 2021. But here, his midsection pretty much looks just as tight in all honesty, but it just doesn't seem he has the same definition that he had last year. Chest looks to be slightly more strided last year. But honestly, in this pose, I may prefer the 2021 version. I mean, he looks a little fuller. But overall, I think I like the 2020 look so far. But I actually like this pose from William Bonac, and maybe because he has his tricep turned more towards us so we can see more of it versus in the 2020 version, he's kind of slanted. It's probably why he made this slight adjustment in the posing for this year. And on to the back shots, because this is really going to show some things. And right off the bat, you guys can see it looks like William has lost some of his lower lat insertions, which is actually pretty interesting because leading up to this competition, he looked pretty amazing, and you could see his lat insertions amazing in the updates, but for some reason he doesn't seem to have them here. And also in some of these poses, to me, he's kind of posing weird, so I wonder if he has some type of injury that's causing him not to be able to get into these poses the way he wants to, or even could be the reason why he's switching up some of these poses. But definitely in this back double, 2020 is winning by a long shot. And onto the rear lat spread. And here, I don't know if you guys can see it, or maybe he's just not into the pose. But in 2021, it doesn't look like he's comfortable hitting this pose, specifically from the left side. Maybe even a little muscle imbalance potentially on the left side. Something doesn't seem right with this photo, but definitely 2020 version is crushing this to the left. Look at his glutes. Maybe in 2021 he's not flexing his right glute as much, but in 2020 his glutes look diced. And we're already at the ab and thigh comparison, and here is honestly probably going to be where you guys can see the most difference. I feel like in the comparison, he looks a lot thicker in the midsection, but keep in mind, guys, also a possibility he may not be snapping this shot at the same time, but here he definitely looks a lot thicker in the midsection, but he pretty much looks to be in the same condition. And this year he hit a hands clasp most muscular, and last year he kind of did a knuckles together most muscular, I guess to say. And honestly, to me, Bonac looks pretty similar as he did last year. I kind of prefer the look last year. He definitely put on some size. I don't think he came in fuller. It's probably like about 10 more pounds, but it also looks like he's added more to his midsection as well. And it also looks like he's lost some of his outer sweep. But let's get to the crab pose, because this is William's best pose in my opinion. And William is just the king of the crab most muscular. And these are very similar in my opinion. He may actually be more conditioned in the upper body, it looks like in this picture. But overall, I think I prefer the 2020 version. So from this comparison overall, you guys can pretty much see they were pretty similar, but I honestly prefer the 2020 version. It may just be the lighting. You guys know the lighting this year was crazy with all the laser lights and all of that. But going back to what I was saying about the ab and thigh, William should really watch his midsection because the guys that he's going up against are Heidi Chupin and Nick Walker, which have two of the best midsections in bodybuilding right now. And honestly, just that I feel like would be enough to keep them placing above William Bonac. So, and in my personal opinion, I don't feel like Bonac is getting better. Just to mention Rolly Winkler, Rolly had the virus last year and also had to take a lot of months off from the gym. I know William had a leg injury about 2 years ago, but as far as I know, outside of, I mean, he traveled some, but I don't see why William honestly came in off, and I don't think he's improving. On another note, I will be getting out a video about my thoughts on Rolly Winkler as well, so I'm not going to spoil that for you guys. But I still have faith in Bonac, and honestly, 2022 is probably going to be the last year for a lot of these guys. What I'm saying by that is, if a lot of these guys don't bring it in 2022, I'm gonna assume that they're on their way out. But you guys know, if you watch the channel, I always give the veterans the benefit of the doubt, and I want them to prove themselves. So I hope you did indeed enjoy this video, guys. Like, comment, and sub. I'm out.